to them. So if it's say for instance, it's the mixed use bylaw review, we can send notice to the planning board that we'd like to take a look at it. We can review it and provide some recommendations to the relevant board.
So we have to notify them first, or we could just do it and send comment?
I mean, you have, just as an advisory role, you have the, the responsibility. It would be certainly relevant if you take a look at this and prioritize your own goals. It doesn't necessarily mean that if the planning board has authority, that they'd act on it in the same time frame, but certainly would probably help to have your input in reviewing these items, because they have a lot assigned to them as well.
Yeah, is there a time frame that they've given?
There is a time frame in the table marked in years, and these were all rough estimates. So all these implementation goals were created from public input and data that was conducted over the, I'd say, 2-year period of the master plan. There were a few public outreach sessions and data collection that was conducted by BSC, who worked as a town's consultant over the last 2 years.
Yes, okay.
So a high priority was identified to support the growth and preservation of existing businesses while attracting new investments that align with community needs. There's another high priority to enhance direct investment in local and regional food systems by supporting local farms and seeking funding to assist farmers. The next high priority is conduct awareness campaign with the Agricultural Commission, Economic Development Committee, and Conservation Trust to highlight Bolton's farms and products. And we've kind of touched on those things, but maybe prioritizing them and putting them on agenda items so we can act on them and move forward would be a good idea. We don't necessarily have to follow these priority goals, but as we discuss them, if we agree with the recommendations, we can set them as our first items to task throughout 2025.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big daunting task, but I think if we like kind of pick away at it, I guess. And
I think if everybody picks maybe their top 3, we can prioritize the first 3 tasks and start working on them. We're certainly not going to get to all these things throughout the next year. But at least if we set some goals for the next calendar year and start working on a few items, I think it would help to get some things done.
Yeah, who have we worked with, Eric, as far as some of the people in town who are building the businesses, and like Frank, are there people that we're consulting with, like, to discuss some of these?
Yeah, maybe that is like the approach we should take, is, kind of really going out and reaching out to the businesses and talking to them like, these are the priorities of the town, but where do these fit into your goals as a business? And, how could we kind of like point the town in a direction that is most helpful to you? Maybe that's the approach we should take in this.
It could be a good catalyst for doing another one of those business gatherings that we've done at Slater's, because I think the last few have been great to get everybody together. They have felt more like a loose kind of networking event, and this would give us like a real topic of discussion to have with everybody.
Yeah, I'd love to do another one of those. I was able to talk to Frank Kyoto in person, and since then he's been emailing me about getting ideas from the high school students about what they'd like to see over on the property, his property, which is right there behind Classic Pizza. So he's talking about, and this is public because he had me create a form for the high school to see what they'd most like to see there. So basically he's going to fill the Reach is still in there. Reach Fitness is still there temporarily for now, but they'll need to fill that one. But he's also going to create I believe it was 3 new businesses that he's in the coming years. So he's trying to get ideas, and I'm helping him put out some surveys through the high school, so through some of my high school parent groups. And he's focused on the high school because obviously the proximity to the high school, he wants to know what like kids would actually want, what businesses they want to see there. And it'd also be nice to talk to Bob or somebody just to figure out the water situation. Obviously we can only have certain types of businesses in there, and that's, so he's talking like coffee shops and maybe hair salon or, whatever the combination would be. But I think the other question, and if you look at that property, is how, I know there's been discussion in the past, but I haven't been privy and I don't know much background, so I don't want to go off on a limb, and because you guys maybe know more about this, but what's the chance of moving the transfer station? I mean, the town
DPW.
maintenance, all that town maintenance stuff. Is it possible to move that? I know it's a big garage where we obviously do the wreaths. Is that something that could ever be developable land that we could have like a business there? Because
it definitely has been talked about in town. It's definitely a big lift. But like, I know wrapping around the DPW is all business zone land. So, and then you have Frank Chiodo's land. So that's why that whole corner, that whole section is a great, overall land to think about in the long term and how we want it developed. And getting rid of the DPW, I think would be huge. Moving it to a place that's, not right smack dab in the middle of a potential business district.
Yeah, it's just, after talking to Frank, and again, this is not, Frank has talked about this in the public about trying to get ideas for this business plan he has. If you think about it, I mean, obviously it'd be nice to plan. And the more I talked with him, the more you realize that you want the businesses to complement each other. Obviously, you don't want to have 2 coffee shops. You don't need to have like next to each other or competing businesses right in Bolton. So it'd be nice to obviously plan exactly what you'd have there. And if you start to have a couple businesses there, it'd be nice to get other ones that would complement it, like something that could be on that, like an anchor right there. But all this obviously depends on the fact that the Rotary is going to go in. So that's going to clear out a bunch of land. And I think overall, when you look at the issues the town is having with budget, and they're talking about getting rid of, changing things at the transfer station, possibly, which I don't know a lot of the background there. But, what if you move the DPW stuff over to the transfer station, which might be changing their ways to begin with because of budgetary concerns, and then actually use that land that the DPW is on now for a little bit of a business, a couple extra shops that could complement each other, and you could actually, and might even help, Frank's businesses. Obviously, if you have a few, like a pizza, hair salon, whatever else he plans to put there, it would help if he had something across from him that would be a little bit better than a dump truck. But that's, I know it's a big haul, and I don't mean to lay all this like as if it's going to happen right away. I just
that's definitely right in line with my thinking. So, I mean, I don't know, Pam, like if we could be an advocate for that, even like, pump it up somehow in the town, like write an article, like it's just like an advisory board. It's like, not like we have a vote or anything, but like an argument for why it'd be good to move the DPW or something like that, just to get people thinking about it,
Yeah, I think it's been brought up a lot by numerous boards. The master plan committee discussed it too, and that whole intersection's been discussed about business development.
Yeah,
obviously the issue is like
discussed in
coming
boards
up with $50 million for a new DPW building is going to have to be a very long range plan for the town.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a haul, and I think once the Rotary's in, the walkability will be a little bit better for the students. I think, with the students trying to run across the street as it is now, you wouldn't want. I mean, it's dangerous for them, so they're running across for pizza. But with the Rotary, technically there would be a walkway there, so it would be safer. So, and again, Frank, it'd be nice to have another business meeting. In the short term, it'd be nice to have another business meeting with some of the people that actually would be doing the construction or have ideas that they'd want to add as input. And, they could give us the reality of what's doable, what's not. The other thing I'd like to see is some type of, I just would love to know which businesses are empty, like which ones need to be filled. I mean, business spaces, like, and I don't know and I know if I've asked this before, and I don't know if there's one specific person or if it's different realtors, but how do we get just a list of whatever properties have empty space? And what if we promote those empty spaces in sort of like a, sign up genie? Like, you want to look at our empty spaces here in Boston or here in Bolton. You can come and get your business here. Here's how to set up your business. I think we need to just have something that we can push out there, kind of like the page. The other issue is the website that we used to have that actually tells businesses how to go about coming to Bolton, how to do this, how to do that. I think that was kind of a nice website, and I think getting that back would be helpful. But I know there's some.
Actually, on that website, we were at one point trying to maintain the vacancy list, but it just kind of like went away from us, and we couldn't keep up with it.
It's hard, it's hard to really keep up with this. I mean, especially with everyone volunteering, it's just not like you have. I mean,
also they don't necessarily. I don't know that they really have to report it. So it's like you have to constantly go out and poll all the time,
Right. I think, it just seems like they'd want to tell us how to help them. It's kind of like Frank, Frank was telling me how do I get people to tell me what they want to be in the spot that I'm trying to promote. You'd think anyone with an empty storefront or any empty business office that they want to just tell us, hey, we're open for, options. Yeah. And how else do they?
If we could update that webpage to be more interactive and allow businesses to like say what spaces are vacant and like have the town be able to interactively say, well, what would be nice here, sort of thing. Like if there was a way that was a spot, that would be awesome. If we could somehow work that, I don't know.
Yeah. And I know we've talked about this in the past. I might be able to help update that website. And I know
the website is defunct. It doesn't work annore. I don't know how we go about
I can get it back. Again. I know how to. Okay. I do know how to get it back, but it was just.
It's too outdated. Yeah, you can't.
So I just let it go.
Right.
Okay.
It's so outdated that it still has the international, the fireplace room. It has all these things that are so out of date that they're not practical to actually have up. So it's probably just as well that it's not operating. But if we bring it back, it probably, it would take some work to revise it all, but I could probably help work on that, depending on, what we think, just to make the basic changes probably wouldn't be that hard. Although I'm not like a website expert, so I'd have to see. I can't make any promises, but it'd be nice to have that back up just to say, hey, come to Bolton, and then, who do we work with to promote Bolton as a place to come build your business? If we have if we have certain spaces, like I haven't been to the new Reach facility, which is now called the Bolton Club. I did communicate with Chris Hayes though, and he's now moved from next to the liquor store to across from Slater's. And they have a nice the Bolton Club, which apparently is getting good reviews, which is great. And it seems like he needed more space. And Frank said that he was still in the old location for now, but that's going to need to be filled. But again, it's kind of like it'd be nice to just have another meeting with Frank and everybody else who has a space to lease that they'd like to have leased, and just to figure out what they need and what. How to help them fill the spaces that we do have, the existing spaces. So that's, I guess just a meeting. In the short term, it'd be nice to have a meeting with everybody like we did and just really go through what's helpful. How can we help you fill the space, and what's, promoting, I think is one thing. We can help them do some promotions. We don't have a good budget to do a whole lot, but maybe, at least if we can help them fill some of these, any empty spaces, like in the case of Frank, who's planning it. And I'm not saying he can't fill them himself. It's just, I'm wondering how to help businesses on that front. Like, are there any more empty spaces over at the, on the east end of town?
Well, it's still the Cobham building, which is the industrial building. I'm sure Paragon has probably some openings here or there, but like those places like Paragon and even Country Cupboard, people come in and out, it's like,
Yeah.
it's tough to keep track.
Yeah. So it's not like Bolton's that large, so I guess maybe there's not an issue. I guess I don't know enough. But either way, like I said, it was nice to just have a meeting with Frank and people.
I think ideally it'd be best if like we split up the board and like we become liaisons for some sections of businesses or something, like, so like each person maintains kind of like some area in town or some group of businesses, and kind of keeps a finger on where they're at, that's probably something like that.
Yeah, I think, and then when it comes to the farms, so when I talk to some of the farmers, they're not crazy about Backyard Bolton because they feel like it takes them too much to get their tables down there, and they feel like
I've had this many times with them.
Yeah, and so I
market anyway anymore. So
yeah, but I don't think it's fair that other small businesses wouldn't be promoted. So I think the solution is, or at least a solution, or something that would help, is something that we kind of tried at the last Backyard Bolton, which is to have a table that really introduces you to Bolton and says, here's how to get to the winery. In fact, here's the winery actually gave me a bottle of wine to promote their winery, the winery. And I'm thinking if we can do that and make it really simple for some of the anchor businesses in Bolton, like Bolton Spring Farm, Bolton Orchards, just have some core baskets and just, even if it's just a QR code for them to just either go there after they leave Backyard Bolton. So my thinking is, instead of having this thing where the businesses are a little annoyed because they don't benefit from Backyard Bolton, we could actually use Backyard Bolton as people walk into it, like in the front. Maybe we move the table. Like we didn't move the table last time because we had the robot in the back, and that's, but like you said, Eric, I think it is better to have it in the front because then people walk right in and they can see, oh, here's Bolton. There's more to Bolton than just, driving through 117. I think
it would be good if you were like kind of the greeter.
Yeah,
table.
And maybe it's not me, maybe it's the robot. Bill can bring the robot back and they can stop at the table and we can put the robot out front just to get people in. But I think, at least putting anchor businesses like the winery and the bigger businesses, and just have a display that represents each business and, a QR code so that they can go right in and just, hey, why don't you guys stop up before you leave town? Why don't you head over to Bolton Orchards? There's a special, and maybe put whatever sales or promotions they have. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Well, I know that the farms originally, I mean, if they're going to go anywhere, they go into Boston. So it's like, they don't want to waste their time to go down the road when they have a stand right where they are. So, I mean, I totally understand that. And Backyard Bolton, I don't even call it a farmer's market anymore because it's not that. It's just like, there's nothing that really competes with anything in town. So I'm not worried about that anymore. But like, if we could use the traffic that's coming into Backyard Bolton to direct it towards farms and businesses, that's all the better.
Yeah, that's my thinking. I mean, they just can't bring their stuff down. And like you said, it's not like it's not competing with them anymore. It's not a farmer's market. It's really, people are coming for crafts and everything else, not for produce. So I think they know that, and they know that we're promoting people to actually go to their business on the day of the Backyard Bolton. Just, hey, go to the winery. There's a big event happening at, at 1:00. There's live music, whatever it is. Just make sure that we funnel them to other places in Bolton. Yeah. And maybe that solves that problem. And then, but Backyard Bolton's a whole nother subject. I don't want to get you guys off on a tangent.
No, yeah. But yeah, we'll finish up this, but I do want to bring up Backyard Bolton after. But I think the goal from now until the next meeting, and I'll email this out, is we should all look over, like prioritize looking over this list and kind of like Pam said, kind of like, where do we think we can be most impactful, over the next year or so, and what we want to focus on, I guess, out of this list of items. I think,
Yeah, that'd be good. And then, and Pam, did you say that they want, it, like our priorities? We need to like create this list as they want our suggestions for what we think are the priorities.
Yeah, the EDC was just tasked as a responsible group, like as you know, your advisory. So
Yeah.
if you pick the top three, they're looking at you to kind of make your own judgment. There's no one that's going to approve or disapprove your list.
Okay. And did they have is there like do they have a deadline? I know that this is a matter of years that all this is, it's not like a short-term thing, but is there like a deadline that they're hoping for us to come up with a list at least?
Well, no. But we'd like to start moving along and check items off the master plan, because we did spend a lot of time and money in preparing the document. The plan projects items out until the year 2035. And also there's some helpful information in the existing conditions report of the economic development section. It's not a full economic development plan. It's just about 8 pages, but it has a lot of helpful existing data on how the businesses are categorized and what makes up our tax base.
So yeah, I think it would be good if all of the members of the EDC take a good look at those sections, and next meeting we can really have like a discussion on what we want to prioritize as our goals over the next year or so.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a notes column in the implementation table if you just want to fill it in or just make notes, and we'll share them verbally at the next meeting.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
In
maybe
regard,
we do.
in regard to the master, the business plan, the planning board, this coming town meeting, you'll see that we're actually attacking some of the residential goals. We're working on a cottage overlay district to work on some diversity in housing, to try to get some smaller, like housing units in town, and how, different ways we can do that. And we're tweaking the phosphorus a little bit. And I think we're making some tweaks to like the detached and attached accessory dwelling units. So we're going after the residential, but planning board's not doing anything yet with like commercial or business development. So, I think if we can do something over the next 6 months to a year to hit the next cycle that the planning board goes through bylaws, that would probably be a good goal.
Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, I'll take a look. I can maybe contact Frank or whoever, I'll pull together a list, but that sounds like a good plan.
Okay. I think we're good on this topic then.
Okay.
So I'll send out an email to the group asking to, review those, and we'll talk about it in detail, focus on it next meeting.
All right. Is there anything on the planning board? Are there any meetings which we should be watching, Eric? Sometimes I get the emails about certain meetings, and I have to figure out which ones are best to attend. I mean,
so the planning board is, I don't know, it's pretty dry. You have, it's like we're really going through the legalese of bylaws right now, and we've been working on cottage overlay, and how basically we're working on the details of how much density to give as a bonus for smaller houses. So the goal would be, so you could design like a normal phosphid development, which is like, say you have 10 acres, you can build 5 houses with 2-acre lots. That's like a standard development. With phosphid, you could put those 5 houses in 5 acres and then have 50% open space. What the cottage overlay is going to say is, if you I mean, I can't work out all the numbers right now.
Yeah,
It's what we say, like, basically, if you build it within if you build, say, let me think how I want to say this. It's kind of tricky now. So depending on the number of acres, it works out that you can get, Pam, could you just give
Yeah.
kind of the,
Um,
I can't do it.
the way
without
it's
it.
written now, the density allows for 1 bedroom per 10,000 square feet of lot
Yes.
size. And
So
you can
what that
divide
works,
those up among dwelling units as you find appropriate. So you,
so kind of roughly what it works out is on that same 10-acre lot, if you can get what we say 42 bedrooms, and we said that you can have a max of 3 bedrooms in a unit, and the max housing size could be 1,850 feet. So what it works out to, depending on the size of the house and the number of bedrooms, so instead of just having 5 McMansions on that 10-acre lot, you can build anywhere between, I think it was between 14 to 22 smaller units, maxing out at 1,850, depending on how you divide up your bedrooms and square footage. So the goal is to get like a mix of like 1,600 to 1,850 foot square houses versus 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, McMansion type units, trying to incentivize building smaller houses for first time home buyers and for people graduating out of their 4-bedroom colonial and looking to downsize and having a place to go in town.
right.
So that's, yeah. All the
And this-
numbers get tricky, but
Yeah, it's a lot to work on. All right. Well, if there are any meetings that are helpful for us to watch, I mean, obviously watching a Zoom meeting is not that hard. Either way.
well, so I think we are talking about having a hearing coming up soon, so that might be a good one to watch.
Okay.
And
yeah,
we'll probably,
it's all residential stuff, but
yeah, if you're interested, yeah. But also, we're probably going to end up having some public forums to discuss it once we get closer to town meeting.
Okay.
So that's probably something that you'd be interested in.
Yeah. When's the and then do we know when the construction and the apartments are going to be done over at the senior center area?
they broke ground in October and they said it's going to take about 1.5 years.
Okay. And then one more question. Do we know when the Fotini's, old Fotini's restaurant's going to be open? Is that something that's coming up? Anything new from them or from?
Yeah, they started interior construction and they're going to the zoning board to alter their outdoor seating area.
Okay. So they think it'll like spring?
They didn't provide an opening date. It's going to take at least a few months to get through the ZBA,
Gotcha. Okay.
maybe summer. They're doing
Really,
pretty,
a few months just for outdoor seating.
well, everything takes a few months between the appeal period and the advertising requirements.
Yeah, I guess.
So they're doing pretty extensive interior renovations. They're making everything handicap accessible. So my guess is summer.
Okay.
At
And Amy
at
can,
the earliest.
gotcha. And Amy can update us on that, I'm sure. Any news from the Bolton Bean restaurant? Is that
No, I don't have any opening dates for that.
okay? I can ask them just to help promote, but I'm sure Amy's on some of that too. So, okay.
So one thing I did want to bring up about Backyard Bolton is picking a date for the first one. Because I've had a couple of people already ask me when it is. And I know that we've been saying like the Saturday of Mother's Day weekend. Does that still seem good by everybody?
I would probably recommend doing it like the weekend before if we want to
Okay.
capture people trying to buy gifts for Mother's Day. I would imagine people aren't saving it till the day before.
Okay.
We have to make sure the Bolton Arts Guild also does one in advance of Mother's Day. I mean, they do their
The artisan group you're saying?
Yeah, the
We
Bolton
kind of
Artisans.
like, we kind of took that over. Like she kind of like stepped back and just said, you do it as long as you invite some of my people. Like she didn't want to do it anymore.
Oh, she's not. So it's not coming up this year. And
Like the Artisan Guild kind of like, she just, like originally we said with the Artisans Guild, but she kind of like just said that like we could just combine last year. She didn't want to like organize it again.
oh, I see. Okay. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
is that Yvette that you were talking to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll message her. But maybe
Yeah.
we should clear it with Parks and Rec and
Yeah.
That-
that's what I want
that's-
to pick. That's why I want to pick a date because I always put in the request, you know?
And
Yeah.
we have to take over the permitting of that from Parks and Rec. So we're gonna put a form on Viewpoint, and everyone's gonna have to register their business and pay the fee online.
Okay. The only people who are outside of Bolton, you're saying?
Well, everyone should register just so we know who's attending, and then if
Yep.
there's a relevant fee, they would have to pay it through the
Okay.
Viewpoint. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
It just creates everyone one spot to see who's registered and who's coming and who's paid and who's not.
Yeah, that's fine. I could always direct
Okay.
people there.
Yep.
As part of the process. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I just need to learn more about that. But so let me pull up a calendar. Hold on 1 second. So let me go to May. So is Mother's Day the 11th?
Yes.
So I was originally thinking the 10th, but you're thinking May 3rd, Sean?
That's my thought. Yeah, I mean, you could, we'll still have people show up on the 11th, but I think if the goal is to like promote it as get your Mother's Day stuff here.
Well, also if people are busy doing other things on Mother's Day, that might be good to do the week before as well.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to have to cram all that. I mean, for all the people who are vendors and all the attendees,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard. It's a lot of times people are going to visit their mothers, or you just don't want to have to.
That makes sense. Yeah, if you're traveling or something. So do we want to say May 3rd then? Is there anything else going on May 3rd? Is that?
I don't know yet, but probably see whatever other people can do. I probably can do it.
Oh, well, how about over the next few days,
Yeah.
we make sure nothing big around has happened on May 3rd that we're going to be competing against. And if so, we can go with that.
Yeah, and see what Amy says, and we can talk to Lisa Sheppel and just make sure. Yeah. And the arts. So you're saying that the arts, the May. I thought they always. Okay. Either way, we can talk to. It'd be nice to talk to.
They still have the Bolton Studios, the open studios things in September, but they were doing something on Mother's Day. But she didn't want to do it anymore. So.
Oh, maybe I would wonder if they'd want to come to Backyard Bolton and sort of.
Yeah, well, that was the deal. She said that, just invite all my people.
Yeah,
and that's what I did. And she said we can kind of just combine. So I don't know if you remember, but when I was advertising in May, I said with the Artisans Guild, So.
Oh, that's great. Okay, I must have missed that. I think maybe I wasn't here. I wasn't here for that one, but okay, so that's great. Because I assume
it's still kind of the same story,
Mm-hmm. That'd be nice to help. I mean, it'd be nice. It's always, that's an attraction just in itself. So I think that would be helpful. The Stowe also has the new arts guild that they've been trying to do like an open studio similar to Bolton. So we can promote with them too. Maybe we can help each other, the two towns. All right.
Let's tentatively say May 3rd then, and start to shop that around and make sure we're good with it. And then we'll enter in maybe in a week or so, we can officially submit it or something.
Do we want to originally we were going to get a vendor, and there was a vendor who wanted to come that was like a specialty hot dog vendor, and they had a pretty small footprint. Like it wasn't a ginormous truck,
It's fine by me. I think that would be good to advertise food, and it'd be good for the vendors. So
Yeah, so I think if you want, I can reach out to her. I just want to make sure that we're still clear. And at the time, she was actually on the Neshoba Board of Health list
Yeah.
of people, so
Okay.
they're
I mean,
aware.
that would be cool. I think it would be great to really market that there'll be food there. We'll
Yeah,
make sure there's live music and food, and so the more to come and do, the better.
okay. I'll reach out to them. And what else? Do we want the robot to come back?
Yeah. I mean, if it's available, why not?
It was a hit for sure.
Yeah. All right.
It was I saw the video post where the robot met the alpacas. That was pretty funny.
Oh yeah. It definitely makes it easier to promote when you have between the alpaca and the robot. It was definitely a good. And I think actually having that booth, having the Hello Bolton booth up front and promoting the businesses, so I can. It's a lot of work, but I can work to try to. Maybe that's a topic for another meeting.
Yeah.
Because there are some options. I think let's talk about that at maybe the next meeting. I'll prepare something because I think there's a way to make the Hello Bolton like a brute booth, but also these folders. So what's happening is I'm creating these folders that the realtors are taking and sharing with all the new residents. So realtors
Cool.
want something, and it's a Hello Bolton folder. I'll for the next meeting I can maybe prepare that. We maybe even put that on the agenda because they want more of them. Like Amy's group keeps handing them out. So essentially it's a packet in a nutshell. In 2 minutes, I'll explain. It's a packet that has a bunch of Bolton, flyers, how to go to Tom Denny Nature Camp, go to the winery, go to these different flyers. And we actually, Bolton Orchards actually gave us a free coffee or ice cream coupon that we stick in there. And then there's like a little letter opener. So it's a nice little packet. And Amy's group, has been handing them out along with the Kotlars. They've been giving them out to new residents, and apparently they love them. So I keep getting orders, even though I don't sell them. I just give them away, and I need to figure out how to make more because they are asking me for more of them. So that's another topic, but maybe it'd be nice
Sure.
to have us boost that and then turn it into this table that is at the entry of Backyard Bolton to kind of, like I said, if we can promote these other businesses, I think they might realize that we're not actually competing. We're not actually doing a farmer's market that's keeping people from going to the farms.
Right.
You
Yep.
know. So I'll work on maybe Pam, we can put that on the agenda for next time.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
Sean, did you have any updates on the Welcome to Bolton sign?
Yeah, I was on vacation last week, but when I was catching up on emails this morning, I saw that we've paid the invoice for installation. So I can follow up and see when they're planning on adding the
They're already added.
Oh, they're already up? Sweet.
Yeah.
I haven't driven by the sign in the
Yeah, they
so they
changed them
already-
in
So what are the
January.
new businesses again?
Yoga 626 and Bolton Global Capital.
Do they, well, I guess you haven't seen them, but I was wondering if they kind of blend in.
They're a little off shade, but they're pretty close.
That's awesome.
You kind of have to look for it to notice that they're
Yeah, the other ones are all worn out. It's kind of natural that just from the weathering over time that these ones with fresh paint are going to stand out a little bit. But hopefully,
So then the business side is full and we have like an open farm side. Is that what's going on?
no, it's all full now.
Oh, it's all full.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
so we
building-
had one open spot on the sign, and then we also had Fotinis that we took down. So those were the two.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
so we should
good work.
wrap that one up and check that box. And I think there's still a wait list. So if any new businesses want to get on it,
Yeah.
or if any other people kind of stop
Yeah.
paying their maintenance bill, we can.
So so we spent a lot of that money in the fund for fixing the light, which is still working. So that's good. But like, what do we have in there right now?
We had to pay the installation fee, which was quite a bit. So we only have about $100 left.
Okay, but I mean, so, and I don't know,
But I,
when do we
I
go?
haven't billed the maintenance fee for 2025 yet, so we haven't
Yeah,
collected
okay.
any of this year's funds.
Yeah, so I mean, we have that maintenance fee, so I just keep up. I don't know if there's any landscaping or just really just, I know the DPW goes in there sometime and trims down the weeds and stuff, but just keep it respectable, I guess, with that maintenance fee. Overall, it looks like, it was definitely mounted nice, because it still seems nice and straight, and, it doesn't look dilapidated at all or anything. So,
No, not at all.
The woman who came out to appraise it and give us a quote was very impressed with the craftsmanship on the sign.
yeah. Yeah. So that's great. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Did we have anything else to talk about, Pam?
The budget is going before the advisory committee tomorrow. We just kept it at 750.
Yeah.
We're not in a good financial position for next year. Eric, you're noted as giving the presentation, but I handled it last year. I didn't know if you wanted me just to do it again.
Can you just do it?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody from the EDC wants to go and speak up, I know, Kristen, you can come up with 1,000 ways to spend money. You can attend if you want.
I could. Which meeting is it tomorrow? The budget.
Yeah, the advisory committee, they're reviewing the budget for the town.
Because sometimes they ask, well, why haven't we spent it all? And should we give you all this money moving forward? I'm like, I know you can come up with them many ways. They might not even look that, they might just gloss over it, and it's only I say only, but every dollar counts, but it's $750, but I don't even know what we spent of it this past year, but I know we didn't spend it all.
Okay, can we keep it? Because that would help to, if we can talk
that's
to
the goal.
Lisa.
That's the goal, is to keep it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the website, getting the website up, printing the Hello Bolton things would be really helpful, and helping the businesses out, promote their stuff during Backyard Bolton, and just in different ways would be really nice to have.
One reason why the webpage went down is they kept on asking for like a fee to like host it. And I kept saying, well, we don't have much money. And they're like, all right, we'll do it for free. But anyway, I stopped updating it. But I know that, like you said, there is like a couple $100 fee they want us to host the website per year, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe, why don't we, is that, maybe you can email me the contact, or if we can figure out who can get it back up, and how much would it cost.
Sure, I'll figure that out tomorrow and get it to you.
Yeah, I think that, and I'll send Pam, should I send some images to you of the Hello Bolton folder? It'd be really nice to help the businesses print up coupons or something that they can give to new residents. So the new residents get these packets, and Bolton Orchards has these nice things printed up that are coupons to come into the shop. And I'm thinking if we can get other businesses on board and help them and print things, I've spent a couple $100 myself just personally printing these things up, but I can't keep doing it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that was something I was thinking about. Like, if we had some type of like promotion sheet or like a little booklet, or just online coupons, or something that we can like go around and get all the businesses. I know people do that for charity, but if we could just do it like kind of to help promote the businesses and get people attending, all local small businesses, that would be great.
Right, and just letting them.
Kristen, why don't you send that to me, and I'll see what we can do in terms of printing stuff.
Also, I mean, maybe just the ask for is by tomorrow evening, if all of us could just send a list of things we think we could spend money on in the next year. So if the advisory board asks, well, why should we give you this $750? We could just have a list of items of things, that we potentially are going to, fill the budget up with.
Yeah. And I think, it's one of those things where it's not like we're just spending the money just to spend it because we could get it. It would we really, I think, need to probably invest, especially with some of these new businesses coming in, with Frank talking about creating, new businesses at the Rotary. It's like, I just feel like we're not, I can print these up myself, but it's costly, and I just
I
think
mean,
it would give us a
the way
chance.
the way town budgets work is, you know, they figure out what all, you know, what's this, what do they need for money this coming fiscal year,
Right.
and then they tax the residents, and then whatever they don't spend of that money, then it kind of goes towards what they call free cash, but it kind of gets absorbed into other, you know, things. But you know, if we were way over, if our budget was way over what we're spending, it doesn't make sense to tax the residents. But you know, I think we've been lazy, or I've been lazy with it. I'm not a good chairman. We haven't been filling the budget where we clearly have tons of good uses for it that could help local businesses.
I also never got a bill for reimbursement for the Slater's business gathering. We usually use that account to pay for that.
I think, did I pay for that? I don't even know. See, I suck about this.
It's hard. It's hard when you're volunteering. I know. I mean, as a volunteer, you've got 20 other things to do.
I have to go back. I think I did pay for it. I told Amy I would submit it, and then I just didn't do it.
Okay, well, check your records and then give me the receipt, and I'm happy to reimburse you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Yeah, a lot of times I end up just paying for things and forgetting about it.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, well, Pam, I'll come up. I can come up with a list, and I can send it to you and Eric and everybody.
Yeah, it might not even come up as a question. They might just be like, "Okay, sounds good." But
yeah,
if
it's
it
not
does,
not much. I mean, it's not like you're asking for a lot. I think.
Right.
But I think figuring out this website thing, it's just, the thing is, it's there. It's a beautiful website. It's kind of like, I feel like it really could be working for the town with just a little fix, or
Yeah, sure. I think so. I totally think so.
Yeah.
It's just I just haven't been able to get to it, and
well, it's hard. I mean, I don't even know that I have time either. But at least we could, even since there's no deadline for it, just
yeah.
I can look at it. I think
you seem to live for this and love it, so you usually make time.
Well, I have to be careful. It's kind of, I do kind of enjoy some of this stuff online, but I have to be careful because I end up, not getting my kids' laundry done and everything else. But anyway,
I definitely appreciate all you've done. So I'm so happy that you joined the EDC.
Oh, thanks. No problem. It makes sense. I mean, because of the Bolton group, I mean, it's easier for me probably than it would be for other people to push it out.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Is there anything else, Pam, or is that it?
Our annual report was in the email. I don't know if anyone's had time to review it, but we need to submit it.
Yeah. I looked through it. I didn't have any issues. It looked good to me. I don't know if anybody else got to look at it. I don't know if you do want to skim over it quick.
Sure. It basically just reviews the actions of the board over the last year. We have to provide a report in the annual town meeting report, at the annual report. And they're usually handed out or available at town meeting. It reviews the membership, what the responsibilities of the EDC are. And then we mentioned Backyard Bolton, the Welcome to Bolton sign, social media, advertisement and video spotlights that the board did in 2024. We mentioned the Adopt a Poll initiative and the master plan implementation and EDC involvement in the chapter reviews.
Seems good to me. Can I get a motion to accept? Do we have to take a vote to accept it?
Yes, we usually do. Yep.
All right. Can I get a motion to accept the annual report? I guess I just need somebody to say second.
Second.
All in
All
favor?
in favor?
Aye.
All right. Sounds unanimous.
Unanimous vote in favor of approving the annual report. I'll get that submitted to the town administrator's office. And then I had the vacancy on there,
Yep.
but I think I'll reach out to Amy tomorrow and see if she has any recommendations. The select board appoint the members
Yeah,
of
I
the
think you
EDC,
do.
but if we can reach out to someone and encourage application, that'd be great.
It would be awesome if it was like a business owner, if possible. But like if not, that's fine.
If she's Larry had said she had someone in mind. If
Yeah,
we need
no,
to,
it's
then we can obviously advertise for interest.
Yeah, right. No, for sure. Okay. Well, this was great. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. And thanks, Pam. Thanks, Deborah.
Hopefully I wasn't too annoying on the treadmill.
Didn't hear
I
it at
couldn't
all.
hear anything.
You're good. Yeah.
I didn't hear a thing.
Good, smart microphone.
All right, guys. See ya.
Multi-
All right.
Have a
Bye.
good night.
Bye. Good night.
See ya.